If you ever thought about owning your own franchise location, allow me to crush your dreams. Did you know that the average McDonald's costs about $1.5 million to set up and only makes about $100,000 per year in profit? And that's assuming everything goes as planned. When you think about it, this is a horrible deal. In fact, you could have dumped all that money into an index fund and made nearly a full-time income from the interest alone, without having to do any work or take on the risk and challenges that come with business ownership. This makes starting a large franchise business almost pointless because they barely earn any profit. But this isn't just true for franchises, it's a reality for most businesses. Why? Because most businesses, even the promising ones, turn into cash-eating monsters. Entrepreneurs pour their revenue back into the business, increasing expenses with the hope that profit will magically appear someday, but often, sales dip, expenses stay high, and a lack of cash drains the business dry. But what if you could flip the script and use a simple formula that we're all familiar with to turn your business into a money-printing machine? That's exactly what Mike Michalowicz explains in his book Profit First. But if you don't have the time to read hundreds of pages, I'll summarize the most important takeaways from the book in this video, so make sure you watch until the end. Most entrepreneurs follow the traditional accounting formula. Sales minus expenses equals profit. They assume that after covering all expenses, whatever is left over will be their profit. The problem? Often, nothing is left over. Michalowicz flips this equation on its head. Sales minus profit equals expenses. By taking profit first, businesses are forced to operate within their means. It's a small but powerful change. Adopting the profit-first mindset is crucial, especially for those starting a business or side hustle with dreams of quitting their job. The goal is to reach profitability that matches your current income, allowing your business to fully sustain your lifestyle. This method isn't just about survival, it's about thriving from day one. Some of you might have noticed an interesting parallel. We often hear about this approach for managing personal finances as well. We're taught to set aside a portion of our income for savings and investments first, and then to live off the rest. This ensures we're always growing our wealth rather than spending it all. This is what personal finance gurus refer to as paying yourself first. Now let's cover the 4 key principles from the book. Number 1. Use smaller plates. Just like using a smaller plate helps you eat less, constraining your operating budget helps shed excess expenses. Parkinson's law states that work expands to fill the time available. Similarly, expenses expand to match the budget. By allocating less to expenses, businesses naturally become more efficient. Think about squeezing the last bit of toothpaste from the tube. Less resources drive innovation and efficiency. Number 2. Serve sequentially. Prioritize profit. Allocate a portion of revenue to profit first, then distribute the remaining funds to expenses. When profit is non-negotiable, businesses find ways to operate within the remaining budget. Number 3. Remove temptation. To avoid dipping into your profits, keep your profits and taxes in separate accounts. This ensures that profits are protected and taxes are covered, preventing financial surprises. It's like putting your savings in a locked box you can't easily access. Out of sight, out of mind. Number 4. Enforce a rhythm. Establish a regular schedule for allocating funds to different accounts. This consistency helps maintain discipline and makes the profit-first system a habit. Think of it as a heartbeat for your business finances, ensuring everything stays in rhythm. Now let's look at a real-world example of a business that followed these principles and benefited from doing so. Consider the story of Basecamp, a project management software company that has thrived by adhering to lean principles and focusing on profitability from the outset. Basecamp, co-founded by Jason Fried and David Heinemeier Hansen, has always emphasized running a lean operation and focusing on profitability from the start. This approach allowed Basecamp to innovate efficiently, staying ahead in a competitive market without the need for excessive funding or extravagant expenses. By focusing on profitability and managing their resources wisely, Basecamp became a shining example of how the profit-first system can transform a business. However, not all is sunshine and rainbows. While the core concept makes a lot of sense, there are also some weaknesses with this formula for certain types of entrepreneurs. So let's carefully go over the pros and cons of the profit-first approach to business. The profit-first system addresses a critical reason why 80% of businesses fail within the first few years: poor money allocation. By focusing on profitability from the start, businesses can avoid financial pitfalls. This method is particularly beneficial for small, cash flow-focused businesses that need to manage limited resources efficiently. For example, mom and pop convenience stores and most service businesses can benefit from this approach. However, the system isn't perfect for everyone. It's not suitable for businesses that rely on investor funding for growth, like many tech startups. For instance, WhatsApp operated for years without profit, focusing on user growth and eventually selling for billions. So clearly, this approach is not suitable for businesses aiming for market share or long-term growth over immediate profits. Now, if all this business talk got you interested in starting your own business, so you can finally quit your job and live life on your own terms, I have good news and bad news. The bad news is that most businesses are extremely risky and can cost you a lot of time and money just to get off the ground. The good news is that I found an exception to this rule. I recently discovered an amazing business model that's perfect for beginners to start generating consistent cash flow every month. And best of all, most people still don't know about it, so it's still pretty early to get started. Click the link in the description and I'll tell you all about it.